Hello my gorgeous peopleini, my name is Sasha Bonasin and I'm a psychic medium, and these are your weekly horoscope tarot card readings, and they are in between the 28th of December and the 4th of January 2022. So this weekly horoscope tarot card forecast is, as of course, for all 12 signs of zodiac, and it's going to be individually time stamped, which means that you can just simply scroll at the bottom of the screen and you can get to your sign that way, or you can just basically find your sign within the actual description box next to its timing, and you can click on your sign also that way. And what I was going to say, my gorgeous peopleini, is I wish you all the happy Merry Christmas to every single one of you, and also I wish you the happiest new year 2022 as well. So now, my gorgeous peopleini, I'm going to start with my gorgeous and ever so precious Aries. So my gorgeous Aries, this is a horoscope tarot card focus in between the 28th of December and the 4th of January 2022. Do you know, it looks like pretty much so that you are indeed going to need to make a really important decision. But what you need to remember, that you know, you are most certainly going to have a perfect balance within you. And what do I mean by this? It means, my gorgeous Aries, that you are going to become aware of the situation that you really need to pay attention to. You're not going to be you're not going to be able to understand so much about it, but you will know that something may not be quite right, right ahead of you, you see. So it is about you having this psychic moment, like, oh my lordy lord, this is going to be a rather psychic moment that you are going to have, my gorgeous Aries, and this is indeed going to open your eyes, believe me or not. It's going to be very important time for you at around the midweek, and also at the same time, once your eyes are opened, nothing is going to close them ever again. So that in itself is going to give you the power of intuition, where you are going to be able to really see ahead of you some kind of situation that is just not going to work, that just doesn't make sense whatsoever. And that particular situation would have become like a bit of a tower moment, where if you didn't just a few weeks earlier, if you became aware of this situation right in front of you, and then if you didn't feel the details, how you're going to feel now, because at the same time something is going to cause you the certain information, the specific information is going to cause you to open your eyes. So that in itself is going to lead towards this powerful moment of you seeing the actual tower situation before the tower situation happens. You know, you're not going to be able to understand this completely. And the tower situation, for those of you who may not understand what this is, it just means that the situation that is just going to come and happen and manifest completely out of the blue, and it's also going to surprise you. You know, through this situation you are going to feel a little bit of a setback, but at the same time you're going to be thrown out of your own balance. But at the same time, through this situation, you will be able to see who your enemies are, or some kind of people with a very big heavy and unexplainable negativity attached to them. So this in itself, you will be able to see. The tower normally happens when people don't expect the tower to happen, because it surprises us. But the unique thing about you, my gorgeous Aries, is that you're going to become aware of it. So you have to pay attention to your intuition, you have to pay attention to what's on your mind, but also, you know, it's just basically, it's like a little bit of oh my god, the pure, maybe a little bit of a fear, or just because of the uncertainty, what's ahead, because it is going to be connected to the change of plan, and most certainly it's going to lead towards you realizing that the certain part of your life slowly came to an end. It's about you it's about you putting a stop to something by realizing that it slowly came to an end. And this is going to be the combination of your way of thinking, of the realization of things that are going to come to you, of things that you're going to realize. And you will see that one path absolutely doesn't make sense, and another path makes a completely huge sense, because this all is going to lead towards you towards the end of the actual week, where there are going to be a couple of paths ahead, and these two paths ahead would not not happen, and you would not feel like about them in the same way if you didn't go through what you've actually been through. This week, you need to give a credit to yourself, my gorgeous Aries. You strictly need to pay attention to your own intuition, because when you find yourself like thinking about two paths, you know, one path is going to seem a little bit harder than the other path, and your job is now to understand this, that sometimes in this life you just have to like kind of like strictly, like absolutely strictly always use your intuition, but sometimes in your life, you know, there are other things from the outside that can affect our way of thinking, that can affect our way of planning, and then slowly it's kind of like still the essence of our own spirit. And when the essence of our own spirit is stolen, it can be like a stolen like forever or anything like that, you know, but it's just for the certain amount of time. It gives you the opportunity, it gives you the chance to reflect on your life and things around you, and also like follow your intuition. It gives you the chance to understand, to see things that are not normally there, but especially when it comes to your situation, this is something that is going to be absolutely remarkable. You need to pay attention to, because this, you know, what is going to be happening this week, there are also going to be certain ideas that you are going to have, and you see this, brilliant. Pay attention to the ideas that you are going to have. Please pay attention to things that come to you that bring that spark within, you know, because this is important, because that spark within, it's also going to remind you of like how important it is to stay on your path, and how important it is to understand that sometimes in this life we most certainly have to go through the actual stormy storms. And when we go through the actual storms in life, then, you know, it is not our job to just try to kind of like be fake to ourselves, you know, to ignore the feelings and ignore the emotions. So it's all about you coming out of yourself and realizing that there is a very important aspect going to become available to you as an opportunity. And that opportunity, it's also, yet again, it's going to be that element of, oh, I'm not too sure, too much darkness, you know. But then again, at the same time, you have got a very powerful answer within that I'm talking about, that you are on the right journey, you are on the right path. So pay attention to the idea that you're going to have, because that idea, it's almost immediately going to make you feel enlightened, because it's going to reconnect you with your like the missing part of yourself, if I can say like that, something, you know, to do with your past over the last 7 years that you have been doing. You have been enjoying yourself, you have been living your life in a specific way, but that's absolutely fine. We are living and changing, but something from the past, it's going to bounce back, and this is where everything is actually going to start. It's going to bring that spark within that most certainly you, my gorgeous Aries, should be paying attention to. Okay, so now the next sign that I'm going to be having this reading for, weekly reading, it's going to be my gorgeous Taurus, my beautiful Taurinis. What I need you to understand that this week, you know, just like basically you see this, when you least expect it, is going to be the return of your own power, the return of your own strength. This week in itself is going to be rather sacred when it comes to you. What didn't make sense is going to start making sense once again. What didn't make sense, I'm not saying that you didn't understand that didn't make sense before, but now you're going to get that doubled up in a very more powerful light, and that light is going to give you the ability, it's going to give you the vision, it's going to give you the chance to see things in an even more weird and bizarre way. What you're going to understand and what you're going to realize is going to be quite weird and quite bizarre and quite strange and quite unusual, but then again, you're not going to be completely surprised. It is just the power of seeing this in the real light. The way you feel, it depends, you know, the way we connect to things that we understand around us, about us, in our world, you know, with the spirit world, you know, with throughout the different dimensions that we are living through. So it's all about you having this necessary balance, because now you're reaching a very important stage in your life when finally you're going to be true, completely honest with yourself. You will see that something absolutely doesn't make sense whatsoever, and that in itself is going to be your power. That in itself is going to give you strength. That in itself is going to make you feel so much about self. But you know what, baby, this is going to lead towards an absolutely important aspect of your life, which is going to become evident at around the midweek. This in itself is going to give you even more power and even more force to like kind of carry on going through your life. As I mentioned before, you are just going through a little bit of a storm at the moment. We are all going through a little bit of a storm at the moment, and through that storm, the answer to that is just believe to yourself and trust to yourself and trust your instinct things no matter what, because here at around the midweek, you know, you giving credit to yourself, you give a power to yourself, even if you become aware of the things that absolutely don't make sense and you don't like them whatsoever, but you just still have to give a power to yourself, and that way you just retain your power within exactly where it's meant to be, and not to give it away, because when you're giving it away, then you can be told absolutely anything from the outside dark forces that are just going to kind of pull you in. So you just have to to kind of switch yourself on. Really important indeed, because at around the midweek you're going to have a very powerful sign that you're on the right track, that you're on the right path, that you're doing the right thing, that you're making the right choice. By making the right choice, it's by you thinking about yourself, and by you thinking very strongly about what the next step and next stage in your life is going to bring, because this is exactly what you should be doing at this moment in life, by not giving your power away. But at the same time, it's about the actual process that it's going to bring you a very strong sense of like a culmination, very strong sense of luxury in your life, very strong sense of achievement. So you are going to be on the right path. Don't forget that at the same time, you know, it is just basically going to be a very strong week when it comes to karma. So I think that somebody is like a big time in a little bit of trouble. Like when it comes to you, somebody around you needs a little bit of help. Maybe somebody around you is like a little bit lost. Somebody around you is like in a little bit of trouble when it comes to finances, when it comes to financial situations and things like that. So if you can help to that person, that would be absolutely brilliant, because it's also about the karma that you are creating at the same time. And I'm not saying this only because, oh yeah, you're gonna do something just in order to get something karmically back. No, baby, no. I'm saying this, that person means to you. That person is important to you. So that's why that person is showing in your tower. And also you see this, it is this week, it's going to bring you an absolutely mind-blowing reflection on things, you know, and especially it's the parallel, like complete opposite of the actual strength that I've mentioned before. This is amazing that you're actually having this card, because you know what, the power within, it's also going to come to you at the moment at around the end of the week. It's going to be highlighted when you're going to like pretty much, so you're really going to have enough with a certain aspect of your life. You will really want to move on, but something will be holding you down, something will be preventing you to kind of think about the next step, because as soon as you think about it, then it's just like, oh gosh, you know, the darkness just fall down. And that's no, baby, no, because it just blocks you, it stops you, it prevents you to like kind of think about what you should be thinking about. So this is brilliant, because it is the moment where you're going to have absolutely enough of like having your hands like tied at the back. It means that you wanted to express yourself, you wanted to do quite a lot of things, but then again, at the same time, you know, just remember the karma. This is a very powerful a time of karma, which works in a few different ways, and it's a rather complex situation that is going to become obvious to you, but very strongly at this moment in time, you will kind of feel pretty much so very optimistic. God, my hands. Pretty much so you're gonna feel very optimistic when it comes to this, and it's just gonna come to you out of the blue, just like this cat statue just fallen. This is how this is actually going to come to you. It's an important, because you will release yourself, you know, from being completely restrained. So everything that you're gonna be doing is just going to lead towards a very powerful moment when it comes to like a very significant opportunity that is going to become available at around the end of this week. Very rejuvenating, refreshing, but also it's going to feel very strong when it comes to going on to the next stage, next step of your life. So most certainly pay attention to the actual ideas, no matter how crazy these ideas may seem, especially at this moment in time, you know, but also this is the way you're going to build your power and build your energy, by paying attention to the ideas, and also to that particular spark that you feel within, because there are going to be quite a lot of these sparks indeed. Okay, so now I'm just gonna pick my, see this? My gorgeous Taurinis now. Who's next? My gorgeous Gemini. So the next reading is for you, and hopefully I'm not going to knock off this beautiful baby here. So if I just put her here a little bit, but this is the thing, you know, it's every time I knock something with the power of this synchronicity that I'm creating at the same time in this spiritual bubble, I mean, you know, it just responds really easily to me. This makes sense completely. Knock off the cat statue when it comes to the actual Taurus reading. Knocking off the cat statue means that something is just going to happen just really quickly out of the blue. You see, everything kind of makes sense to me whatsoever. So now the next reading that I'm going to have, it's going to be my gorgeous Gemini. You know, my gorgeous Gemini is just so important to, like, you see this, you also going to need somebody to kind of like karmically help out. My gorgeous Gemini, it looks like somebody needs your help, and that person means to you, that person is important to you, and that person is just also like a kind of struggling with a certain aspect of their life. So somebody's maybe pretty much so needs a little bit of your own power when it comes to like it doesn't necessarily have to be the finances that you're gonna give them. Yeah, there you go, you know, no baby, no, but it's also a lot to do with like your way of thinking, you know, it's a lot to do with an advice, you know, it's not necessarily, oh yeah, just give them the money, you know, no baby, no, but it's an advice that you need to give them. So maybe somebody's like overspending, maybe somebody's like in a financial trouble, maybe somebody's just like kind of really not thinking the way they're like dealing with their finances, or maybe somebody just basically found themselves on a bit of like a very difficult and heavy financial spot. Okay, so that person is close to you, it's important to you, and you have got the power, you know the answer, you know something that person needs, and it's an important information. Maybe they're just about to buy something really like ridiculously crazy, ridiculously expensive. Maybe they're just thinking about making really big and expensive journey, but they shouldn't be kind of doing it. So it's just like kind of see what your intuition is actually telling you, because you, my gorgeous Gemini, I said 5 million times, you, when something is not right, you just know it, you just feel it, you know, almost instantly, immediately. You do not need a time. So this is why something is instantly going to come to you. So if you could help to that person, it would be absolutely remarkable, my gorgeous Gemini, and this is going to be really important as well. And then on another hand, what else I was going to say, you see, an absolutely mind-blowing week when it comes to the future planning. Just remember this, that you're going to have the power of realization, you're going to have the power, strong power of understanding. It's going to be very sharp what you're going to understand this week, what you're going to become aware, what you're going to realize is that the things are going to be doubled up when it comes to confirmation, and that in itself, you know, just out of the blue, it's going to restart something within you, you know, when it comes to the future planning. This is going to be an important part of the actual restart that you're going to have. So please, when you least expect it, you know, you're going to start drifting away this week, my gorgeous Gemini. Maybe you're going to be chilling out, maybe you're going to be relaxing, maybe you're going to be doing something, but while your attention is towards something very specific, you know, just out of the blue, there is some kind of like a realization gonna come to you about the future planning. Something very strongly you're gonna feel, something very strongly it's going to be felt, you know. And this future planning that I'm talking about is just really going to fill your life with a very positive and important energy, that it's at the same time, my goodness, you see this, it's going to help you to see an absolutely enormous, giant, like big mama light at the end of the tunnel. But it's the perfect combination if you're with your own spiritual energy and with your other energies as well. The balance is going to be absolutely superb. But then again at the same time, you know, you are going to have a sacred gift. Is this the sacred gift that you are going to have? And this sacred gift is pretty much so going to come in the actual form of you realizing something so big, something undeniable, something so important. When you focus on that part of your life, when that realization come to you, when I said at the beginning of this reading, at the same time you're going to realize, you know, something very strong and powerful within, and this is going to be like your own sacred gift in such a way where this is going to be completely undeniable. This in itself is going to cause you, and it's going to make you to kind of make a certain adjustments in your life this week, but it's only going to be the start of this planning, only the beginning of an important journey, only the beginning of an absolutely mind-blowing unfoldment of you doing things that negative have been kind of stopped in the process over the last 24 months. By the same time, you need to understand to have a patience. This is very, very important, okay, because this is going to rejuvenate you in so many different ways, my gorgeous Gemini, indeed. And you see this, by the end of the week, you're going to find yourself like, oh la la, like being a little bit of like a kind of indecisive, you know, very important moment. Look, at the end of the week, you're going to find yourself being really indecisive. But what can I say to you? What can I possibly say to you? If you're indecisive, you do know the answer, because the energy is going to be mind-blowing big mama throughout this month. So you do know the answer, my gorgeous Gemini. So you're going to be pretty much so like down on one side, my God, on another side, okay, you know, so you will know the answer. You will know exactly what to do, because the answer is think about yourself, think about your future, think about your future planning. Think about what your next step is going to be. This is what your concerns should be. This is what you should be thinking about, because there is an outside influence that is rather dark and devilish that maybe affected you to kind of like pay attention to the one side that absolutely doesn't make sense whatsoever. That's the quick side. I've mentioned this before. You just do it, but it doesn't make sense. You got that side, oh my Lord, so uncertain, so many left, right, left, backward, forward, this and that, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that. But this is the one that you need to go for, because this is the one what your spirit is going to tell you. So it doesn't matter if that's like kind of, oh God, uncertain, you do it. If that's kind of doesn't make sense, but you still feel like some kind of negativity like kind of pushing you towards it, and hasn't got nothing to do with your feelings and emotions, this is something that you should most certainly ignore, okay? And also, the more you plan this week, the more it's kind of gonna come to you, because there are lots of like kind of magnetic energy that you're going to have around you, that you're going to have within. And what else I was going to say, it is strictly important. Look, this is great, happy home, blah blah blah, you know, but it's also brilliant. Sorry, I didn't mean to say blah blah blah, but it is a different aspect that is very important here that I'm trying to say through this. You need to maintain, oh God, you need to maintain the friendliness with people who mean to you so much. You need to stay friendly with them. You need to be friendly with them. You need to kind of I think there are certain relationships that were kind of like a hurt not that long ago in your life, and you need to kind of rejuvenate these relationships, whether these are people like your family members that are super close to you, that are completely close to you, or whether these are best friends, but that just sometimes in this life, you know, the families and people who are close to you, close to us, are more important than anything. And sometimes, you know, you have one opinion, they have a different opinion, and no, it doesn't mean that we're always going to agree about absolutely everything, but it's just like, you know, you just need to kind of like try to work on a certain relationships and try to make sure that you stay kind of on a friendly basis. This is very important. This is to do with the people that are completely connected to you, not the people that are like, oh yeah, there is a Jane, Mary, and whatever, you know. No, baby, no. It's the people who are in your life, people who are important to you, people who mean to you so much. So it's about a certain disagreement that you're just going to need to kind of realize and understand that you think this way, they think that way. So this is really, really important, my gorgeous Gemini, indeed. Okay, so now the next sign that I'm going to be having the weekly horoscope tarot card focused is going to be my gorgeous Cancerini. Okay, my gorgeous Cancerini. So now, my Lord, you see this moment, you know, this is absolutely brilliant. You are going to reach a very powerful stage of your life, and this powerful stage in your life is actually going to take place within the first couple of days. And you know what? You're going to hear a negative news, you're going to hear a negative information, and you're going to be like, oh my God, I'm just sick of it, I had enough, you know, because, you know, there is only like the certain amount of negativity that we can all take. There is only certain amount of like a kind of negative vibration that we can all take. There is only certain amount of a negative like energy that we can kind of absorb without even realizing subconsciously. You know, at the moment, this has been happening to you quite a lot, whether you were aware of things, whether you were not aware of things, but you reached the point in the stage in your life where you've just just realized that there was like such a huge amount of negativity that you have been walking through. Nothing to do with you like being sad or miserable or anything like that. No, baby, no. I'm just saying that you have picked up like quite a lot of negative energy over the last 12 months in particular, that now you're just going to start realizing how much this is actually affecting you. So this is why this is so important. The first couple of days, what you're going to hear about, what you're going to become aware of is just going to be like, oh, for goodness sake, you know, type of thing. This is going to be your answer. And this is going to be your answer, but at the same time, your karma mama is going from number 9 to number 10. When your karma mama comes from number 9 to number 10, there is nowhere to go after 10. So now it's a number 10. So now this is the amount of the energy that you have been receiving and you have been getting, and now you're reaching your turning point, because now this is your going to become your upside down moment, and it's going to be a really good one. It's going to happen when you least expect it, of course, with a little bit of surprise, couple of days after you become like kind of, you know what, I had enough of this. And it's also kind of going to really inspire you. It's about the inspiration that you are going to have. This is what I'm talking about. At the very same time, within the next couple of days after that, the inspiration from somebody very kind of important in your life, it's going to take place, and you will look up to them about some kind of accomplishment, and this is going to make you feel really good. This is going to make you feel really happy, and this is going to even make you feel even more keen and eager yourself to just carry on a significant path, on a very important path, because you want to remove yourself from the situation and maybe from the group of people who are just bringing you down and certain informations that are making you feel too negative, because you will realize that there is not much that you can actually do about it apart from just following your own path. This is about the return of your own strength, but it's also the very powerful moment when somebody who is meant to be in your life, it's actually going to inspire you at the perfect time, at the perfect moment, and it's going to be super beneficial when it comes to your vibration. And it's, you know, it's absolutely brilliant, because that it's going to start awakening things within you, you know, the things that were sleeping for a while. When it comes to your home at around the mid-week, you know, in particular, you will want to kind of reflect on your home, and suddenly just out of the blue, you will want to move this, you will want to move that, you will want to change this, you will want to change that. This is all the cause of this powerful new vibration that it's coming into your sign, which is slightly and gently going to redirect you towards the actual new path. There is a little tower situation that you are going to have at around the end of the week, my gorgeous Cancerini, and you know, the tower situation that you are going to have, it's actually going to open your eyes even further. It's gonna really kind of be, you know, sometimes people say, oh yeah, it's a tower card, oh no, it's really bad. No, baby, no, because sometimes this little baby, when that comes up, it's also going to reveal at around the end of the week, you know, certain aspects of your life are going to be completely uncovered. It is going to surprise you. It is going to make you to step back. It is going to open your eyes. It is going to make you aware of the certain mask that is going to be fallen. And once that mask is fallen, there are going to be worms behind it. So, you know, but it's nothing that is going to completely surprise you. But most certainly, it is going to be an absolutely the final little drop, which is going to not only confirm your own direction in life, to trust yourself, believe in yourself, believe in your third psychic eye, and most importantly, do not ignore any signs and any little like kind of synchronicities that you are going to have, because this week it's all about you really paying attention to your life, the part of your life that it really doesn't make sense anymore. I think you have been waiting, and now as this beautiful new beginning of the year is starting now with this wonderful energy, this is also going to make you feel more sharper. And when you're so sharp within, you know, you will know exactly what to do. It's about just like kind of doing things in your own ways, but also like making one of the most important decisions of your life when it comes to your future planning, when it comes to your future finances, because you are going to do the right thing here, you see. Just pay attention, like when you feel like you want to kind of do things around you, this is the universe speaking, this is the universe talking. So pay attention to what is like the first on your mind, what comes to you, what do you feel like, you know. like what ideas are coming to you. I know it sounds crazy, but when you're following this path of your own individual spirituality, you're also inviting so much of this wonderful energy into your life, which is really magnetic. So you reflect on this, what it comes to you, like in terms of like, oh yeah, I'm gonna do things around the home, for example. You know, this is the time when you need to know that you become very magnetic. So pay attention to the ideas. This is how you get the most of it. Pay attention to the ideas, because one idea is going to need your attention, something that you're in self-denial about, something that you have to be so honest with yourself, and it's to do with your future planning. So you just need to remember to stay true to yourself, my gorgeous Cancerini, no matter what. Okay, so now the next sign that I'm going to be talking about is going to be my gorgeous Leone. Okay, my gorgeous Leonis, let's see. Ooh, the Judgment Day, the Judgment Day. This is something that I need you to understand. This week is going to be more important than you could possibly imagine. You know, it's about a little reward when you least expect. You have been working really hard. You have been doing so much. You have been like kind of putting so much of your energy towards a specific part of your life. And even when things didn't make sense, even when things were really dark, even when things were really slow, even when things were really uncertain, you just kept going, my gorgeous Leonis, whatsoever. You were absolutely brilliant, because you are one of those signs that are remarkable. You're absolutely anything but lazy. I know it's a horrible thing to say. I'm not saying the other signs are lazy, but you're just so opposite of this word. I've never met a Leone, my gorgeous Leonis, who was like kind of lazy or who didn't want to do things. Since I was a child, every single Leone that I met, it was like very much hardworking and doing things always, absolutely my whole life. You know, Leones have always on their path just kept going and kept going and kept going, you know. So this is the energy, this is the spiritual essence that I'm talking about. You've kept going so much, my gorgeous Leones, at the time when things were like, oh my god. And also this is a lot to do with the spiritual and karmic reward, because maybe it was like something required from you along the time, along this time. Maybe you were asked to do something but it didn't make sense to you, and you just did absolutely the right thing. So now there is a very, very important mama reward, spiritual mama coming in. This reward is important when it comes to the things that you have been working on, that you have been putting your energy towards, but also when it comes to your internal and spiritual development. This is so important when it comes to your spiritual development, because also at around the midweek you will realize how much different do you feel. You will realize very keen and very eager to go against something, you know, instead of going with something. This in itself is also going to show your strength, but it's also going to bring you an important time and moment of your own spiritual rebirth. I've got my moment. 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 This is brilliant, because it's all about this an important moment of rebirth, rejuvenation, being able to see things from a completely different angle, which is going to lead towards a very powerful moment towards the end of the week when it comes to your own development. This week it's absolutely brilliant. So what you need to, oh my goodness, the High Priestess, of course, what you need to understand, you know, that you know there is a lot going to be on your mind this week that you're not going to be able to explain. And there are lots of little ideas that are going to be on your mind this week. You know, please, you are going to have a moment of you wanting to explore like a pretty much sort of certain part of your life. And some other people could tell you who couldn't understand you, who couldn't realize where you are spiritually, would be like, what are you doing? No, it doesn't make sense. No, baby, no. But then again, some certain part of your life, it's meant to be explored, because there you're going to find something that was missing in your life, and it's really important. It comes from from your own intuition, but it's also coming from this moment in time when the energy is very sharp, and it's really important, and it's very different when it comes to the end of the year and the beginning of the year at the same time. Use this powerful vibration to enhance your life, to try to understand why do you feel the way you feel, to try to understand how you can go onto the next stage of your life, but also try to give a credit to yourself when credit is due. This is very important, my gorgeous Leonis, but also I can see the very powerful plan that you are going to have. You see this, the moment of justice, and this also shows the very scary time in your life that you have been worrying about, you know. My God, this is very complex, Justice Leonis. This is a very complex moment. It's to do with the justice, and it's to do with you finding yourself like facing the certain stage and the certain aspect of your life that made you feel like, oh my God, but it's not right, because maybe something was placed on you, maybe that it wasn't, maybe someone said that you did something but you didn't, you know. It's definitely not quite right, this. So, you know, you have also kind of been connected to this situation not that long ago where, you know, you were like completely misunderstood, and it's not really good because that misunderstanding went on like a little bit of a different level. And I don't like it because it became very complex. The deeper it goes, the higher it goes, and the more complex the energy we have to deal with later on. So it means that, you know, this moment of justice, first of all, brought you lots of like, oh my God, worrying and things like that. So now you can expect a really good news, you know. Things are moving in your direction. Things are moving towards your own advantage. This is very important time for you indeed, because you're going to release yourself from the energy that does not serve you, but it's not needed in your life whatsoever. It is going to be the great step. After that moment in time, you also need to pay attention to the advice that you are going to get. When you become aware of the moment of justice, my gorgeous Leonis, at the same time, you need to become aware of the actual advice that you are going to get at that moment in time, or it's going to happen at around that moment in time. This is going to be important because most certainly it's going to lead towards this powerful moment. It's going to lead towards you by the end of the week realizing that you can do something so important. You know, it's the way that it's going to be show itself, that it's going to manifest itself. It's a sacred balance. It's bringing a sacred gift, my gorgeous Leonis, indeed. Okay, so before I do my gorgeous Virgolini, I'm just gonna go and get a little bit of water. Sorry. Just a minute, my gorgeous Virgolini. Come, Coco, come here. Up. Sorry. Come, Coco, come. Here. Come on. Here. This is for my gorgeous Virgolini. Well, I heard there was a secret chord that David played and it pleased the Lord, but you don't really care for music, do ya? Well, it goes like this: the fourth, the fifth, the minor fall and the major lift, the baffled king composing hallelujah, 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 hallelujah. Well, your faith was strong, but you needed proof. You saw her bathing on the roof. Her beauty and the moonlight overthrew ya. She tied you to her kitchen chair. She broke your throne and she cut your hair. And from your lips she drew the hallelujah. Hallelujah, 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 hallelujah. My gorgeous Virgolini, okay, you are having a really specific and really important moment this week when it comes to the return of someone very special in your life. At around that moment in time, there is also going to be a very significant spiritual reward that you are going to become aware of. You have been doing a lot. You have been working on a lot of things, and you have been specifically paying attention to the certain path. One path was more important than absolutely everything else in your life, and that path in itself got stuck. That path in itself got blocked a little bit, and it just didn't move on anymore. And on top of that, something even didn't make sense. Almost if somebody was doing something to you negative, or almost if somebody has done something to you like kind of negative or kind of not really nice, and this affected you. It affected your way of thinking. It's affected your way of, the way you feel things and things like that. Something just didn't make sense. The blockage that kind of the blockage that kind of like manifested itself about that specific path that means to you so much, that meant to you so much, that mean to you so much, it kind of got stopped. And you know that something is not right, because it's almost like an influence or an impact from some kind of outside forces that almost kind of affected you and kind of punished you, because you were just saying what was on your mind, because you were just speaking what was on your mind, because you were completely honest, because you said things the way they are, because you said things exactly the way they are, and something just kind of went a little bit strange along the line, because it could only be a quite devilish little energy, or maybe devilish person or devilish group of people who can actually respond to the truth or to the way someone really feels, and it can kind of try to bury certain things, about you or around you, like your own punishment, just because you said that you were talking about something and you said you were completely honest. So this is something that affected you so much. So I can tell you that for the first time in a long time, you will be able to see which specific part of your life is actually going to move on. And if you still don't know what am I talking about, you will be able to know what am I talking about by the time we walk into this week, by the time we enter this week, when you're facing the specific situation, specific news and message that you're gonna have, which is gonna help you to become aware of the actual, oh my God, finally, I'm getting my own reward, finally it's my turn, finally it's my time. So as soon as you feel like this, you will know which specific part of your life had a little bit of negative energy attached to it, and it brought it down, and you will be able to recognize this. And you haven't even done anything wrong. So well done to you, my gorgeous Virgolini. Keep going and do only those things in life that make sense to you. If something doesn't make sense to you, no baby, no. But for the love of God, do not try to trust into the lies. Do not trust lies. Don't trust uncertainty, because you're Virgolini. You know what am I talking about. Like when it comes to, for example, earthly energies, and it's a lot happening, a lot is going on, you can pick up on these earthly energies. They can make you feel better, or they can make you feel they can make you feel better, or they can make you feel worse, you see. But now at the moment the energy is just very negative because it's so unspecific. So it's just only about those things that you have been aware of. What you need to understand is try to Also you need to remember, my gorgeous Virgolini, that, my lord, it's about you doing things in your own way and doing only those things that make sense to you. But also at the same time, I just want to say so strictly and strongly to absolutely do not waste your time with people who have a completely different opinions to you. This is the time, like, seriously, there is no need, no point anymore. So it's more about you using and saving your energy, and to, when it comes to planning and things like that. A lot is going to come to you this week, but most certainly try to avoid people with opposed opinions to you, because there are going to be quite 2 or 3 different instances this week where you will want to kind of like really also kind of step in and say your opinion or say something, but it's absolutely no point, please, because it's just like now at the moment we are reaching the stage and part of our life where the energy splits so much, my lordy lord. So there's one group of people with this particular opinion like on that side, and group of people with a different opinion on the other side, but the opinions are so strong that, you know, at the moment all you can do is just like walk your path. You're also, look at this, and it's everything that I said so far, it just comes with a moment of justice. This is so important, because my gorgeous Virgolini, somebody has done something to you, like in a negative way. I'm sorry, but that is just gonna start slowly redoing itself. That came to an end. I don't want to make you feel really negative or dark Lala. No, baby, no, it doesn't really matter. The moment of truth is here, and the moment of truth is that you are gonna move on with your life from now, from this week onwards, because it's all about the justice. This is all about your justice. It's all about your balance. It's all about your development. It's all about your promotion. It's all about what you have been waiting for. It's all about what you have been working for. But there was a little devilish bastard in the middle, in between, that has caused something to kind of like a really slow down for you. But now the angel of love, it's going to win. And this is you, my gorgeous Virgolini. So this is why this is so important. So this week, your energy and your strength, it's going to be absolutely undeniable. Hallelujah. You see what I mean, my gorgeous Virgolini? Undeniable. This is the balance I'm talking about, and it's also going to bring you reward. By the time you come to the end of this week, there is a very important opportunity that it's going to manifest for you for the first time in your life. It's going to feel like something just started to manifesting for you, like the beginning stages, but you've never felt like that before. But now you will know that this feeling energy it's coming from somewhere else, purely because you evolved now. Your spirit is about to evolve and to go on a very, very significant stage, significant part of your life. You see this? The moment of justice is yours. So this is brilliant when it comes to your personal development and you going on the next step and next stage of your life. This moment of justice is going to become absolutely evident to you around the week, midweek indeed, but also at the same time, more importantly, there is such a powerful lesson that you are going to learn here. Such an important lesson. So when you become aware of this moment of justice, when you can become aware of your life just moving on where it was really, really kind of stuck for a while, at that moment in time, it's also going to be the advice that you are going to gain through that situation. It was like a huge, massive, enormous learning experience, and the advice is to trust yourself no matter what. This is what you need to do. We as a humans, we are so powerful, but our power is like kind of like being tempered with through so many different things. We are not focusing what we should be focusing in life, and when that happens, in affecting our energy, our balance, and who we are, so therefore it affects our planning. So this is going to remember the great lesson here. It's going to be that you have to follow your intuition. You have to follow your own power. No one understands you and your life better than you do, okay? This is what you have to remember, my gorgeous Virgolini. And also, on another hand, you see, you have been worrying so much. You have been worrying so much, and you know, I really like this, because now this is getting onto the next stage and next point of your life, because you know, you were worrying so much. And also what else I was going to say when it comes to these worries, whether you see, it's about the next step, it's about what you're gonna do, it's about how you're gonna go about your life. But what you were worrying about and what was blocking and preventing you to start moving on with your life, it's all about the realization, very powerful realization by the end of of the week, that you've got everything that you need in order to make the next step in your life. When I say next step, it doesn't have to be huge, massive, enormous, but it's like a continuation of you, who you are. Allow yourself to be what you are, who you are, but also allowing yourself to plan the next step and next stage of your life. Plan the next step and next stage of your life. You know, there is something that you need to continue, and it's the realization that you're going to have. You see, you've got more resources than you possibly have in order to actually remove yourself. And also, you see, this enthusiasm is going to be back. It's absolutely brilliant. Just remember that, you know, throughout this week, you're going to find yourself being rather spontaneous. You know, you're going to find yourself wanting to explore. You're going to find yourself like feeling this very powerful vibration. There are a lot of things going to be within you that are going to remind you of what you do, like doing in life. You know, these specific vibrations are going to inspire you more and more and more. There is a very important new start that you are going to have by the end of the week, my gorgeous Virgolini, and I'm so happy for you, because it's going to remind you of who you are. It's going to re-energize you, and it's going to kind of like refresh every single aspect of your life. Although there's still going to be things that absolutely don't make sense around you, but the answer to this is just walk your path, because there is a very important opportunity going to be highlighted for you at the end of the week. I'm not saying that this opportunity is going to just be like come out of the blue for the first time ever, but it's more about the actual unlimited possibilities that you're going to become aware of right now, because now it's time. Unlimited possible, like several unlimited possibilities around a specific situation in your life that is going to be the right step that you should do when it comes to future planning. At the moment, it's absolutely sacred gift indeed. Okay. So now the next sign that I'm going to be talking about is going to be my gorgeous, my ever so precious, my beautiful Libra. Oh, Libra, you know what? My God, justice as well, dear Lord. But before I say this, you know that there is going to be the surprise from somebody very special to you this week. Somebody's going to surprise you like a big mama. Somebody's going to surprise you like there is no tomorrow. Somebody very special to you, maybe somebody whom you lost the contact, somebody who kind of drifted away a little bit. But this person is meant to be the very important part of your life. Sometimes in this life, you know, we are so attached to certain people since we are born, and then, you know, we just stay being friends with them forever. Like me, I still have the same friends since I was basically like a tiny little child. You know, I was 3 or 4 years old. I'm still really best friends with the very same people. So now, you know, we have like a specific people in our lives that we lose connection with, we lose touch with, and those are the very, very special who we lose connection with and touch with. And then they just every single time when they bounce into our lives, nothing is changed. It's always the same. You feel the same, they feel the same, and those are such a sacred relationships, almost like they cannot possibly come to an end. So my point is, my gorgeous Libra, is that somebody very special is about to walk into your life back right now. And this is important because they are also at the same time going to carry a very specific message for you. Very, very specific message for you, my gorgeous Libra, they're going to have. And that specific message is just something that you pretty much needed in order to understand something really ludicrous and something really weird and something really strange, you know, something that maybe if you would talk to some other people, they would say, oh, what are you talking about? But this particular specific person is just going to pretty much level this up with you in a way where they're going to agree with you about something, or they're going to tell you something very strange and bizarre that absolutely doesn't make sense, but you will know that there is so much truth about it. That specific person is just like kind of going to provide you with a world of new possibilities or opportunities, because they are going to kind of pave the path for you, because at the same time the new portal is going to be open where you're going to realize that things in front of you are things that you should be paying attention to from now on, not the things that are around you, because you have found yourself being confused and brought down so many times subconsciously, because you were absorbing so much of the negativity that was happening around you, not within your particular situation, but the things that you picked up on, the things that you learned, the things that you kind of like heard without being kind of like without you know, you absorb this negativity without necessarily like being listening to it and being aware of it, you see. So this is the bottom line. This is a big mama, that this is important for your own strength, because something very deep and very internal, it's going to be answered to you, my gorgeous Libra, as well. And that in itself is going to bring you strength, courage and balance, which is on another hand going to help you to have a control over a situation and give a credit to yourself. And even if you're one within like 100 people who are thinking in this particular and specific way, I say to you right now, if something doesn't make sense, it simply doesn't make sense. It's the life, the way the life is, okay? And it's just like towards which wind you're going to be looking at, you know? Towards where you're going to be looking at. Are you going to be looking towards the darkness? Are you going to be looking towards the light? Well, you look towards the light. You follow the light. You only follow those things that only just basically make sense, you know? Stay true to who you are. Stay faithful to yourself. The more faithful to yourself you are, the more of a spiritual quest you're going to find yourself by the end of this week. And the spiritual quest that you're going to find yourself at around the end of this week, it's really going to make your life more colorful, more meaningful, and things that didn't make sense, you know, you can just ignore for now, and then just like keep going, you know, towards the direction that only makes sense to you. And this is what I was going to say, is the justice, a very, very important time of justice. It looks like that you have been suffering so much. Maybe you were looking towards the wrong things, maybe you were absorbing the wrong things, but however, you were worrying about something so much. So there is going to be very powerful news that you're going to have this week when it comes to the actual justice. It's going to put a big smile on your face. It's going to mean to you so much, but it's also going to confirm the certain direction that you're heading towards, that you have been at that moment in time, only maybe like a couple of days before that, you are wondering, oh, I'm not too sure. I'm not. So this is going to be like a really massive, mind-blowing confirmation, but at the same time, you know, it's the advice that you are going to get as well. Not that long after that, you know, a couple of days, within the next 2 or 3 days, there is going to be a really powerful advice that you are going to get, how to avoid a situation in your life that doesn't basically make sense whatsoever. You know, it looks like more like that you're gonna you see the Hierophant, you see, it looks like you're gonna basically get, you know, the powerful realization, the huge mind-blowing realization from people that are so important in your life, people that are very specific in your life. And there is someone very sacred to you, very kind of important to you in so many different ways. You know, that person is like a quirky in a certain way, that person is like a unusual in a certain way, that person is kind of strange in a different ways, you know, strange and unusual. But then again as well, that person is like ridiculously enlightened when it comes to their way of understanding, when it comes to their wiseness. You know that this person is telling the truth. You know that this person is wise. You know that this person knows something, my God, that is just gonna so be beneficial to your way of thinking, your way of knowing. It's like one of the biggest confirmations of your life from somebody, and that it's also going to be playing an important role when it comes to you, my gorgeous Libra. So this is what you have to remember. Okay, my goodness, to see this Ace of Wands, like, please try to pay attention to the inspiration that is King of Swords, Lordy Lord. Try to pay attention to the inspiration that it's actually going to walk into your life, literally from the beginning of this week. Please, like every single time when you're relaxing and something is going to come to you, and I say relaxing, it's because when we are relaxing, we just temper with like all sorts of different dimensions around us that we normally don't. So pay attention to the ideas that are going to come to you when you're relaxing. Pay attention to the ideas that are on your mind as soon as you wake up the first thing in the morning, because then we are in touch with all sorts of different dimensions. Pay attention when you're meditating, what is coming to you. Pay attention to while you're walking in the forest. This is something very advisable at these times, you know. Just pay attention to what's coming to you, because there is something very specific that it's going to come to you. Very specific information, realization that is going to make you feel so enthusiastic every single time when you think about it. But now this is only going to be like kind of like a very much a strong starting point. You just along the line, you're going to work out how you're going to get there. But now the time is to pay attention to this inspiration. Okay, set your mind to it, set your intentions. Now it's time. Okay, so now The next sign that I'm going to be talking about is going to be my gorgeous Scorpione. Just a second, sorry. Scorpione, 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 Scorpione. I'm sorry, Scorpione. A little bit of water. I know it's a plastic bottle. Don't have a go at me. I know. Plastic is bad because what you're drinking water from plastic. I know. You're basically drinking plastic. Yeah, if you drink water from, you see, I'm drinking it and I shouldn't be, but it's true. It's when you're drinking water from plastic, you're literally drinking plastic, because if you go to not inspect the water, investigate the water. Oh God, don't investigate the water we are drinking. But yeah, if you go to investigate the water, you will, from the plastic bottle, you will find like lots of plastic particles. So literally we are drinking plastic particles. Yeah, so try to avoid drinking water from the plastic bottle like I do right now. But I'm so thirsty. You see, I've been working out before I came here, so I'm just like a little bit thirsty. Okay. Midnight. Coco, you're there. Midnight, know the sound from the pavement. Has the moon lost her memory? She's smiling alone. In the lamplight, the withered leaves collect at my feet, and the wind begins to moan. Memory, all alone in the moonlight, I can dream of the old days. Life was beautiful then. I remember the time I knew what happiness was. My Scorpione, I love you, Scorpio. I love you, my gorgeous Scorpione. This is your little moon song. Of course that I have to do it, you know. Of course that I have to do it. There, listen to me, my gorgeous Scorpione. There is a somebody. I've got this now, but before I take this baby out, it's the somebody needs your help. There is the specific person. Somebody's lost, somebody's having a difficult time, and somebody's very uncertain, and somebody in your life needs your help. Please, this is so important. Because this person means to you a lot, but they are on the verge of something really kind of unusual. I think that there have been that specific person mean to you so much. It's an important person to you. It's person who mean to you and you mean to them. It's vice versa. I wouldn't be just saying, oh, you know, just some certain person. No, baby, no. It's somebody who you very, very much so like, and they like you. It's like maybe a family member. It's like the best friend, but somebody very special to you. It's about to be misled completely, and you still have a time to step in and to show them the light, baby. Show them the light, because where they are right now, the direction that they are going towards it's only going towards like a very much so dark part of their life. Where they are going to, it's a tunnel, but there is no light at the end of the tunnel. Where you are, my gorgeous Scorpione, it is the tunnel, but you're already in the middle of this tunnel, and you're already aware of the very much so bright, big mama sparks at the end of this tunnel. So you are on the right way, you are on the right track, you are on the right journey. You have been paying attention to your balance, so you know you're aware of things that you should be aware of at this stage, at this moment in your life. But that specific person is just basically in this tunnel, and there is no light at the end of the tunnel. If you're not aware of who this person is going to be, trust me, every single time when you see 777, 77 and 333, 33, or when you see like a 111, any single time when you see the combinations of these numbers repeating, this is going to be a sign that that person is just going to make themselves known at around that moment in time, because of the power of mind-blowing synchronicity that it's going to happen. And it's only stemmed from the fact from you two having such a strong connection and relationship. And you know what, it could have been actually the person who you haven't seen in like the last like 5 or 6 years, but it doesn't really matter. This person is important to you and you're important to them. You need to like pretty much just step forward, and very gently and calming try to see what part of their life, what stage of their life they're actually trying to step in and that they shouldn't. You know, it's all to do with the power of their own intuition, but it's also to do with them being misled with the devilish energies, that this is what it causes to people. So people do not walk their own path anymore. People are walking the path from somebody else, almost if they've been just a little bit like hypnotized, you see. So this is what you need to know. So when you see those numbers repeating, you know, my lordy lord, this is going to get back to you millions of times. When you see these numbers repeating, you will somehow know through the power of synchronicity who this is. Maybe they'll send you a message after that moment in time. Maybe they're just going to come to your mind. Maybe you're going to read an email and see, oh look, Melinda, oh look, Jane, oh look, like a Robert, oh look, Mark. You know, you will see, you will know who this is, because the energy is going to be absolutely undeniable. So try to do this, my gorgeous Scorpioni. I cannot explain enough how important this is actually going to be. So now we go to this baby. You see that you are going to be facing a very challenging situation. My gorgeous Scorpione, you're going to be facing a very challenging situation this week. And the right answer to this challenging situation is, my lord, ignore the little bastards in your life. Ignore the negativity. Ignore the negative energy. Ignore the things that don't make sense, because they're all part of exactly the same things. They bring us down into nothingness. You know, if we are keep on following things and listening to things that absolutely don't make sense about our own lives, you know, then we are actually not going to be on our own direction. We are going to lose ourselves. We're going to lose ourselves, our sense of our own spirituality. We give our spiritual candle to someone else. And no, baby, no, you do not do this. Okay, it's very important for you to understand. So what you need to understand, that you, first of all, you're going to have a challenging situation at around the first couple of days. This challenging situation actually hasn't got as much to do with this star card, but I will explain it. So challenging situation you're going to need to deal with. The answer to actually deal with this challenging situation is, you just have to trust yourself. You have to trust yourself. Do not ignore your feelings. Do not ignore your emotions. Do not ignore intuition. Do not ignore your third psychic eye, which is a bigger mama than any eye that we possibly have, this one here. Do not ignore it. Your subconscious mind, your pineal gland, do not ignore it. Okay, give a credit to yourself. This is very important. So there is almost like a path that you're going to be facing at the beginning of the week, you know, and this is going to be the challenging situation. Do not do things that don't make sense to you. Do not go into the sea of darkness where if you jump into this sea, it's going to be so dark. You're not going to be able to like kind of find your way out. You see, that's what I'm talking about. This is going to split into different things. The answer to the challenging situation is always the same, baby. Trust your intuition. Sometimes there's so many heavy energies placed on us that it just puts us into this corner, and then we slowly lose our confidence. So this is the return of your own confidence. Anything for the love of God, my gorgeous Scorpione, that comes to you this week, you just do from your own intuition. I know I have said this absolutely 5 billion times right now, but I'm going to remind you every single time when I need to actually remind you, because I do see you thinking, I do see you worrying, I do see you like contemplating, I do see you like weighing on things, you know, and sometimes, you know, the negative kind of pulls you in like that. And I just have to remind you, come back, baby. I just pull you out and I just put you on this path here. That one is dark and negative and it doesn't make sense. Honestly, it doesn't make sense. You're going to find yourself like in a vacuum, you know, in a hoover, and you're just going to be hoovered up before you even kind of like realize. So you just strictly do things that only make sense to you. So not that path, then it's actually this path. And as soon as you give a credit to yourself, give a credit to your weirdness, give a credit to your psychic feelings, give a credit to your emotions, give a credit credit to anything that comes to you spontaneously, because every single time you do this, you build more energy within you, which increases your personal vibration, and it brings you closer to your own personal truth. Stay on the path, Scorpioni. Stay on the path, my babies. Don't just choose a certain path only because it's meant to be easy, and it's, oh yeah, it's meant to be easy, yeah, I suppose they say this, that, you know. No, baby, no, you just do what you want to do, okay? Here is the answer to this challenge. You do this and you're gonna have a mind-blowing reward of your lifetime. So when you kind of like a feeling jacked towards something that doesn't make sense, you snap out of it. If you are feeling pressurized to do something, come out of it. If you're being asked to do something that doesn't make sense, come out of it. If you're pushed towards the direction that doesn't make sense, come out of it. And you come out of it just as taking a step back. And if you feel pressurized to do something, oh no, just come up with some kind of excuse or whatever you can come up with. And within the next within the next few days, you're gonna gather the necessary energy, which is going to increase your balance, and it's only going to confirm what you want, what you need to know. So this is it. So remember the challenging situation. You just have to trust yourself, okay? Because this is big. The world, this says quite a lot here. This is quite big, you know. This is really big. It's huge. It's massive. It's enormous. It's connected to things that we can't possibly even believe that are happening and that are going on. But this is the answer, because this is literally going to change your life, okay? And it's also going to bring you that step closer towards an ultimate, not just a change, but towards an ultimate change. But this is specifically going to be really important, new beginning that I'm actually talking about, that I'm actually referring to. And this is where this is going to lead, towards the star. Absolutely mind-blowing. By the time you get to the actual end of this week, it's all about the hope that you're gonna feel. Very strange energy, strong energy, and strange energy, because you haven't felt this vibration in a long time, my lord. So the strong, strange energy, but very positive and optimistic, is gonna come in, which is going to bring you hope, inspiration. It's gonna increase your internal happiness. It's going to bring you healing where you need healing, but also it's going to bring a bright prospects into your life with so many possibilities that are going to make you connect to this situation in your life from, my God, from so many different parts of yourself. This is when you're going to start working again, you know. I'm not saying that you weren't working, but I'm just saying that this caused like the little bit of an energy blockage, and also it's pretty much so to do with you doing what you want to do. It's to you coming out of yourself, living your life and expressing yourself. It's something that you really enjoy doing, that you're just going to take on the next level. But above all, you're going to become aware of like other things around this that are going to become very delicious, the actual energy wise. So my gorgeous Scorpioni, this is a very, very important week indeed. Okay, so now before I do Sagittarini, I'm going to have a little bit of water. Sagittarini, Sagittarini, parapam, tu. Sagittarini, Sagittarini, parapam, parapam. Okay. I need water so much. Woo. Coco, he's behind me. Tolo, Tambolina, come up, Tambolina. Nah, Tambolina is my baby, one of my babies. I have lots of babies. Okay, so now the next sign that I'm going to be talking about is going to be my gorgeous, my ever so precious, my beautiful Sagittarius. So this is for you, my gorgeous Sagittarini, and it's in between the 28th of December 2021 and 4th of January 2022. So we're having 2 years in this one. My goodness, what a year this was. 2021, we all know this, you know. This year was just ludicrous. That's my new word, ludicrous. Oh God. Okay, so it's for you, my gorgeous Sagittarini. So let's just see. Oh my goodness. You see, you need to be sharp. You need to be honest with yourself. You need to stay true to yourself. Don't mess it up. Sagittarini, do not mess it up. You have been doing so well. You've been following your intuition. Specifically, you are one of the signs that you have been very sharp with your way of thinking, with your way of knowing, by projecting on things in the right way. You're pretty much so very similar to some of the signs when it comes to like understanding, like a pretty much so that something may not be right about a specific situation. And you just know it. And every single time when something comes up in your water, every single time when something comes up in your life and that you're unsure about, that you're uncertain about, you just know, for the love of God, you just know that something is not right, okay? And that's true. That's 99.9% always truth. So you have got this very sacred knowledge within you. So use it very, very wisely, because my God, you know, there was a lot going on, a lot happened in your life, you know, over the last 12 months in particular, that slowed down your process by kind of like messing up with your feelings and emotions in such a way where you have found yourself being a little bit on a standstill, and you're Sagittarini, you just go, you know, you just like keep your point and you keep on going, you know. But then again, if something doesn't make sense, even more so, it's going to rejuvenate your psychic feelings and energies, and it's even further going to open your eyes. So you know, on one hand, you're like kind of you found yourself really stuck because you just most simply and most certainly want out of life, but then on another hand, there was nothing that you could do about it. But now what you can do about it really in the best possible way at this moment in time, and it was so far, to only do those things that make sense to you. Do not be like kind of like a push towards something that doesn't make sense. Do not be kind of like a talk towards something like that it doesn't make sense. You only do strictly those things, you know, that don't that only make sense to you. You ignore and avoid things that you know that there is a darkness, but you've been pushed towards it. So that's why you just have to come out of it. This week it's going to be absolutely mind-blowing. What you need to remember, that you're going to make a very important decision, my gorgeous Sagittarini, and the decision that you're going to make, it's going to be pretty much so different to what you would normally decide. And this is because you're reaching a very high level of your spiritual journey, which means that on another hand, you've been through so much over the last not only 12 months but the 24 months, because you have been responding to things and situations the way you should be responding, like pretty much so you are very, very intuitive, and this is what you were doing. That's why you reached this very high level of your own spirituality, which is going to help you to see things differently. So there is going to be the decision that you're gonna make, and that decision is just basically going to stay there forever. And I say this because you're going to feel very strongly. You are almost going to be, it's all going to be about the specific situation in your life that, you know, you're going to find yourself in front. You're going to find yourself around. Like almost you have to like go through something in order to kind of like pay attention to your future planning, in order to continue with your future planning. And it's all about you facing some kind of situation that it's going to make you to absolutely 10 million% to use your intuition, because your answer is going to be pretty much so right. You're going to be your answer to this. It's not necessarily that you're going to respond to someone or something, but it's more like responding to the actual situation and removing yourself from it, because something is just not going to make sense, and it's going to make you worried about, maybe even about like a people who are so close to your life, people who are so important to you. You will want to project on them the same energy by enlightening them and making sure that they know what you actually know. So this is going to be so important, because it looks like that you are going to, by making this decision, it's almost gonna look like this devilish energy, this negative energy makes you look like it's also dark and negative if you don't kind of go the certain path or you don't do the certain things. But this is only a lie, and this is only the energy that created with so many lies, that brings so much of negativity within our vibration, that kind of puts us in the state of like unknowingness, which prevents us to move on. So this is why you are pretty much so from the beginning of this week, something is going to become in front of you, okay? Something is literally going to become like pretty much so you're on your path, and then suddenly you're going to stumble upon this big black dark rock, and this big black dark rock is not going to move. And it's only going to move if you kind of like do something that absolutely doesn't make sense. And you don't want to do something that absolutely doesn't make sense. In fact, you feel a little bit of a devilish energy there. So you're absolutely right. If it doesn't make sense, you're still facing this big black rock and you're thinking what you're going to do about it. So this decision is going to come out of the moment when you're facing that black rock, but you're like a big negative dark rock in front of you, you know, big negative dark rock in front of you. Negative rock. It's preventing you to move on, preventing you to go on the other path, unless if you just like kind of like maybe do something ludicrous or something that doesn't make sense to you. So the biggest decision of your life, it's actually going to be you standing in front of that rock and making a decision that you're going to stand here and you're going to come up with a plan. And this is exactly what I'm talking about, because this plan is going to make you to pretty much so, on one hand, pay attention to the actual things in your life that needs to be adjusted in order of the actual priority. Okay, and then on another hand, another path that it's going to come out of it, you will be able to feel the lightness, you will be able to feel the light at the end of the tunnel, the huge sun at the end of the tunnel, but you will not be able to see it, but you will be able to feel it. So it is the longer path that it's going to need lots of careful planning. Okay, this is what you're going to be focusing on, rather than going that one that seemed to be really quick and it's going to remove that dark, negative, heavy rock. It's going to remove it, but you're going to know that you're walking towards the darkness forever. Okay, and that one is the longer path, and then this is the path that it's going to absolutely change your life, because you can feel it. You know, the light at the end of the tunnel. So this is something that you need to do. And also it's going to be absolutely mind-blowing when it comes to your own development, when it comes to doing the right thing, when it comes to making the next step without even realizing you are making the next step. So now at this time, you also just have to basically pay attention to the ideas, pay attention to the path, specific path that you are on. What have you been working on over the last year, a couple of years? You know, the energy, the ideas, you know, all the things that you've been put through, it still didn't kind of happen as quick as you wanted, the unfoldment of this. So this is the path. This is how you're going to fix this problem. This is how you're going to fix this blockage. Okay, so you're willingly doing things that are a little bit like kind of against the current, going that way, but at the same time you know that you're doing the right thing when it comes to your personal development, rejuvenation, okay, rebirth. So this is something I need you to remember. And also on another hand, my gorgeous Sagittarius, listen, I know that this is going to sound really weird and just completely out of the blue, but it's also you need to learn how to let someone go. Someone is like clinging on you, like in such a way of the negative energy and karma, and that person is going to become evident this week. Somebody who you need to let go. You still haven't learned your lesson through that person. I know it sounds so patronizing, or you haven't learned your lesson, but it is like a karmic and spiritual lesson. So at some moment in past you had a maybe argument with someone or disagreement, but they're not necessarily a horrible person or something like that, but you just need to kind of forgive them for something, you know, and that person is going to become evident this week. The sooner you forgive them, the sooner you're spiritually going to grow. The sooner you forgive them, you're going to be able to remove yourself from this heavy energy that now it's the time to actually remove yourself from. Okay, my gorgeous Sagittarini. And also, oh gosh, of course it's like Sagittarini, Sagittarini, Sagittari, Sagittari, Sagitterini, 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 Sagittari, Sagittari, Sagitterini. Raise your vibration. Sagitterini, Sagitterini, Sagittari, Sagittari, Sagitterini, 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 Sagittari, Sagittari, Sagitterini. Pam 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 pararam do 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 pa 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 pararam pam 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 param pam pararam do 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 pa 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 pararam pam 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 param pam pararam do 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 pa 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 pararam. My gorgeous Sagittarini, you know, no, this is quite important, and basically you see this, it's going to help you to chill out, it's going to help you to rest. You see, subconsciously, if you were worrying so much, it drained your energy quite a lot. So your energy was drained possibly that you could more than you could possibly imagine. So you see this, it's brilliant. It's going to give you time to rest, but also at the same time, what you're doing right now and what you're focusing on is just going to be the best thing that you could possibly do when it comes to your future. When it comes to you now, but when it comes to your future as well. So now it's a bit stormy out there. Of course it's stormy, little bastard. Okay, now it's a bit stormy out there, but at the same time, it's like you just, you know, following the stars, you know, in order to find your way out of the situation, you know. And it's also about a readjustment. You're going to make one of the biggest readjustments of your life. This is the time of your own rebirth. This is the time of your own rejuvenation. This is the time when the new energy is going to come in, but it's also going to give you the ability to see things for what they are at the moment in time. By the time the end of the week comes, you are most certainly going to make a very important decision, and the sacrifice is going to come with it. The sacrifice that you just have to remember, that you have to swim against the current, you know, and do only those things that make sense to you. That's your sacrifice, baby, for your own rejuvenation and changing your life indeed. Okay, so now the next sign that I'm going to be talking about is going to be my gorgeous, my ever so precious Capricorn. Whew. Okay, just hide the brand. Bam 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 bam. It's a tiny little fly here. So cute. Sorry. So now, tiny little fly. There are lots of little tiny flies. I think they must come from the plants. Honestly, I've got so many plants downstairs. I'm gonna film at some point. So many plants. I've got like they're like trees in my home. I have inside the house like little mini trees, you know. So I believe sometimes I feel like I see like a really massive spider, and I don't want to kill them at all. Because the spiders in this country, they're not like spiders like somewhere in Florida or somewhere where they can be really dangerous. You know, here in this country, in the UK, they're not really this dangerous. So I see the big spider, I still don't want to kill it, but I'm thinking like, where do they come from? And I'm thinking, my God, I've got the amount of plants I have in this house, you know, this is just my little studio, but downstairs it's like, I've got mini trees literally, and I think that there's like some spiders living there, but I barely see them, so why would I go in and let's just kill them, you know? No, baby, no. They leave me alone, I leave them alone. But I assume they come from the from the tree. That's what I assume, really. So who's next? Oh, Capricornius. Oh no, all the darkness. No, I'm joking. Capricorn. So the next sign that I'm going to be talking about is going to be my gorgeous Capricornius, and it's for in between the 28th of December and the 4th of January. Oh my gosh, you see this? Capricorn, I like this so much. Listen, first of all, at the beginning of this week, you know, it's a reward that you're going to have, but this is more like to do with emotions. This is to do with an emotional reward, you know. This is going to mean to you so much. And it's just pretty much so the feeling, the vibration, which is just going to awaken to who you are. It's going to awaken you how unselfish you have been again. I'm seeing this again. You are such an amazing people. You're very deep and you are anything but selfish. And I say this, my gorgeous Capricornius, not because people are saying you're selfish, but I'm just saying this specifically because you have had a very hard game lately. Game? I don't know. Very hard, I don't know if game is the right word, but very hard path over the last 36 months, you know, when it comes to you really pretty much so understanding and realizing that some other people in your life are very important, like your family members or certain family members. Somebody was going through something very difficult, very dark and very negative, almost as somebody maybe said something that somebody else in your family did and they didn't, somebody that was maybe accused of something very, very specific, some lies connected to somebody very important to you, some lies connected to somebody very close and important to you have been exploited to the point where it is just became very dangerous to that person who is close to you. But you knew this, you were aware of this, and you unselfishly gave us so much of your energy away. And you know, the God is watching, literally. It's like the spirituality and the blessings are always going to come back, and it's always going to match your current energy and your current balance and your current vibration, no matter what, like how negative you are thinking or how many problematic aspects in your life you're doing and working on currently. You know, this is going to catch up with you in the best possible way. So there is a very special reward that you are going to have. It's to do with your emotions and feelings, and it's also going to be very good news about somebody very specific in your family or very close to you, very important to you, that you were worrying about so much, and this is going to mean to you quite a lot, my lord. And this is why I'm saying this, bless your heart. There is a very, very important reward that you're actually going to get through this. So the first reward is going to be the first couple of days where you're going to become aware of something very important that you have been trying to help to that person. It's to do with their achievement, and it's to do with realizing that you were part of it. It's to do with realizing like a very strong direction, that if you weren't there, like that very powerful strong direction wouldn't manifest it in life of that person. So this is going to be so important to you. It's like to do with somebody else's success, but somebody else's success, that person is so close to you that this is going to mean to you like big mama moment indeed. This is going to mean to you so much, and it's also going to be it's going to open your eyes within the first couple of days. This is going to emotionally, it's going to bring an absolutely wonderful balance, but it's also going to open your eyes, because there it's going to be some kind of very realizing situation that you're going to become a part of, and that realized situation, that situation that you're going to realize, it's just going to going to give you an idea how to also what to do with certain aspects of your life. You know, it's going to reflect on you making the necessary adjustments in terms of priorities. So you're going to realize some kind of priorities after that moment in time through their own success or something that they have done right. As the moment of like, ooh, great achievement when it comes to success, you're also going to realize something about yourself, and that it's going to reflect on you in the best possible way, because that person is meant to be in your life. So it's only the sacred information and knowledge that you're going to become aware of. So that is going to reflect on you making the actual adjustment in your life by paying attention to the priorities which are going to change. So this is really important. On another hand, my God, you see this, my gorgeous Capricornians, look at this, it's important. Yeah, inspiration, baby, the inspiration is going to come back at around the midweek. I'm so happy for you. Pay attention to what you're going to feel inspired by, because that inspiration is going to help you to move yourself from the burden, from the negativity, from the sadness, from the lies, from the negative vibration, from the negative energy that you have been exposed to, not only you, for such a long time. And sometimes, you know, you have been exposed because you are very sensitive, so you have been exposed to the negative energy that came from uncertainties and certain lies, you know. And even if you're not like kind of listening to certain things or following certain things or watching certain things, subconsciously still you become like this a spiritual sponge that absorbs so much of negativity even without realizing. So this only adds up to you feeling heavier and heavier and heavier, which brings the moment where you find yourself, oh God, like your hands are like tied at the back. And that is just like a very wrong to feel like this, because the power is here. It's only about the right moment in time that I'm talking about. So it's an inspiration that it's going to come to you. It's going to require from you, it's just going to come to you as in form of an idea, realization, inspiration. It's going to make you feel really vavavoomish, but it's also going to awaken such a many sacred points, many sacred elements within your life, which is only going to remind you of how maybe certain aspects of your life have been in your past, and that exactly is the vibration and energy that it's going to keep you going, and it's going to give you strength and power when you need it the most. Because that inspiration, idea, realization, just remember there are going to be certain elements from the past, but also at the same time it's to do with this little bastard here, like this burden, like, oh, it's just too much, I can't do it anymore. So you're reaching a very important stage, and this in itself, it's also going to help you to kind of make sense of the situation that doesn't make sense, but also it's going to confirm your own direction. What you're going to do, it's also going to help you to protect your own, to protect things that you have, to protect things that belong to you, to protect things that you have been working on in the way that you should protect, not in the way that you have been told that you should do what you should do, and like do not swing off, off your path. Okay, just remember, I said it so many times, do not give your spiritual candle to anyone else apart from yourself, because if you give your spiritual candle to someone else, you're not going to be able to walk in the dark tunnel. We're all in a bit of a dark tunnel at the moment, but you know what, it's not going to be too long until there is a very bright light at the end. So just stay on the path and do not give your spiritual candle away, because you're not going to find your way out of the tunnel. So you're just going to be manipulated towards the things that are very dark, like so dark you can't even see them. Hey, you know what I mean? So this is something that I need you to remember, my gorgeous Capricornians. It's very important indeed. Yeah, very, very important. And also, this is it. Look, pay attention to your intuition. Your intuition is also going to reveal, look at this, pay attention to your intuition this week, because your intuition is going to reveal that you're doing the right thing and you're on the right path. Remember that. It's to do with your success. It's to do with a balance. It's to do with an achievement. It's to do with chilling out later on as well. Okay, so just remember this. It's going to bring you the success. Okay, so now the next sign is going to be my gorgeous Aquamarini. A little bit of water. I'm going to need it for this one. No, I'm joking. Da 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 bam 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 da 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 dun 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 da 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 dun 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 da da dun 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 da 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 dun 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 da 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 dun 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 dun. Aquamarini, 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 aquamarini. My gorgeous Aquamarini. Aquarius, Aquarius. When the moon is in the 7th house and Jupiter aligns with Mars, then peace will guide all the planets. And Aquamarini, 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 Aquamarini. Okay, my gorgeous Aquamarini, I decided to torture you with my singing once again. Now, this is important because, oh my God. It's a very, very unusual situation that you're going to have to deal with this week. But it's nothing bad. It's nothing horrible. But it is all about realizing how complex this life can be. And it's dealing with a very specific person, very specific situation connecting this specific person. And I think that this specific person in your life, it's really important to you, but there is something not quite right with them, you know? And it's horrible to say there's something not quite right with them. I think it's that they're going through something very difficult, and they're being very negative. They suppressed lots of feelings within them because they cannot come out of themselves. They cannot kind of be honest with themselves. First of all, they have to be honest with themselves, and then they have to really live their lives like that. For example, you know, coming out of themselves, you know. But it just looks like the one specific person is becoming very worried. It's becoming very heavy, and it's becoming very negative, you know. And that person is very connected to you, but they're in like a pretty much in a little bit of like a pain when it comes to their emotions. And you have got this power, you have got this healing energy, not only when it comes to touch, you're wonderful, but it's also when it comes to your wiseness. You're born being an empath, but you're also born being extremely wise. You know things, you know people, you know situations, you understand them, but you can't really explain how do you understand them. This is where your empathy comes in. So it's to do with a very complex situation that person in your life is going through. But all you need to do is just kind of make them to feel a little bit better about themselves, okay? Because it looks like that you are having a very kind of lots of information and lots of knowledge, sacred knowledge you have within that person needs. So try to see who this is. So that person is going to also going through also something very, very difficult and very heavy, and very kind of, it's making them uncertain, and it's kind of like a really bringing them down, and it brought them down to the very kind of low level. So it is just pretty much so a lot going to be down on you. And that person may not even be directly actually connected to you, but that person could be directly connected to somebody who also means to you so much. So automatically this other person means to you as well. But it's going to be pretty much so obvious who this person is this week, because it's going to be confirmed to you when you hear the water. Okay, you're either going to be by the water and then you go home and then that person comes to your mind, or you're going to hear the tap water, or maybe you will be by the sea, maybe it will be raining. Some kind of very strong and powerful water connection is going to happen, you know, when you become aware of who this person is. If you're not aware of who this person is, it's just most simply, most certainly going to come to you. So that person is pure. This is what the water means. That person is pure, and they need a little bit of your own spirituality in order to give them life, because they're very low and very negative at the moment. And this, it's going to reflect to you in a million. This is going to reflect to you in I've got like a burp. This is going to reflect to you in a million on you in a millions of times, in so many different rewards, you know. I'm not saying that you're only doing this to actually get something out of it, my gorgeous Aquamarini. I'm just saying that this is something that is actually going to become an important aspect, which is going to be almost impossible to ignore. Oh my lord, you see this? Absolutely brilliant. I quite like this, my gorgeous Aquamarini. You know what? You are going to do something so important this week, which is literally going to turn your life upside down in the best possible way. Because, you know, there is the blockage that you have had in your life, where it kind of put you on the path of the uncertainty, and it blocked you when it comes to your future planning, and it blocked your feelings, it blocked your energy in terms of inspiration. And when this is blocked, it's very difficult to see things for what they are, in particular when it comes to the planning. And there were very important aspects of your planning that you have kind of placed a hold on, because the certain things happen and they change your way of thinking, because you just kind of had certain things messed up in between now, present moment, and in between your future. So this is absolutely brilliant, because from the beginning of this week, what you can expect, my gorgeous Aquamarini, you see this? Suddenly a lot is going to be on your mind when it comes to your family, when it comes to people in your life, when it comes to people who are good to you, when it comes to people who are great to you. But at the same time, this is all going to bring you to this specific point and moment at the beginning of this week. So that in itself, it's going to give you the necessary strength when it comes to raising your energy and raising your vibrations. So by the time you come to the actual last part of the week, just pay attention to the opportunity that you're gonna have. This opportunity, it's not going to come to you just out of the blue for the first time ever. No, baby, no. But now very strongly you're going to feel like you want to go for it, because what was uncertain, it's going to become absolutely obvious. What you didn't understand, you will understand now. And more so, that is going to lead towards you becoming aware of so many different aspects of that opportunities that you were meant to become aware of, that you weren't aware of before. And this is going to make and create an absolutely mind-blowing big mama starting point in your life. It is going to lead towards the success, it is going to lead towards your own prosperity, but most importantly, it's going to lead towards the right thing that you should be doing in order to protect your family financially, protect yourself financially I'm talking about, and also protect yourself financially when it comes to your future. So this is all about you listening to yourself, stepping out of yourself, understanding how important it is to bloody swim against the currents, and ignore the devil and ignore the devilish energy, because you have picked up so much of the subconscious, like a negative energy around you, and you are an empathic sponge, so you will pick up the negative energy even if you're not listening and watching something directly. So this is why now this energy also becomes like an important point when it comes to your internal knowledge. Also at the same time, negative energy, but you get something out of that bastard, because out of that negative energy you also open your eyes and you become aware of this internal knowledge, which is only going to push you forward towards swimming against the current, but also making an important adjustment. You see, this adjustment that you are going to make, it's to do with your own personal rebirth, rejuvenation. It's going to increase your power. It's going to make you to go towards the actual advancement in your life, but also seeing things there that you didn't see before, but not necessarily you didn't see, but now you will know it's the time. Within the first couple of days, pay attention to the vibrancy of your feelings and emotions, and pay attention to the actual ideas, and pay attention to inspiration. It's going to be mental, really crazy, but really good, mental, optimistic, positive inspiration that you will have within the first 3 weeks. These are the inspirations that you will follow, but because these inspirations are also going to change your mind, but it's also not change your mind, but it's also going to confirm how important it is to not necessarily to choose the path that is so kind of easy and obvious, but then again, the path that is easy and obvious and offered to you, it's very difficult to see the end. I don't see the end. It's too dark. It's keep on being dark forever. So you don't do that, baby. You go for the other path over here, which is much more difficult. You don't see the light at the end of the tunnel just yet, but you can feel it, baby. You can sense it, it's there because you are aquamarine, so you can feel these things, from miles and miles away. So you will choose to go, you will choose this path, which is much more difficult. You can't see the light at the end of the tunnel, but you can feel it. You can see the sparks of it, okay? That's the first thing. And then on another thing, it's just that strange push that you're gonna feel. So it's all about you planning. It's all about you opening up yourself. It's all about you feeling rejuvenated in such a sense where this, like the Hanged Man here, it's going to really open your eyes. It's going to help you to see things for what they are in terms of an absolutely mind-blowing confirmation of your life. And that in itself is going to help you to see which part of your life it's important to adjust, readjust, pay attention to the priority in your life, pay attention to the management in your life, okay? Because it's going to lead towards a certain sacrifice, and the sacrifice is going to come to you in sense of stay on your path, keep going. The sacrifice is to do what makes sense to you. And the sacrifice is going to come with that. But you only do those things in this life right now at the moment to do what you want to do, what you feel like doing, what makes sense to you. Do not choose that path, which is very easy, but you don't see the light there, baby. Do not. Okay, you just stay true to yourself. So this is what your own sacrifice is, and what you need to remember, my gorgeous aquamarine, because that in itself is going to have a really special and important reward for you. Look at this. It's going to lead towards you facing an opportunity at the end of the week. When I said an opportunity at the end of the week that you knew before, you were aware of before, but now you're going to see so many possibilities, and that is going to lead towards a contentment. Protection for your family, financially, finances, you know, doing the right thing, step in the right direction. And the older you see, it is going to make you feel like a little bit indecisive, you know, oh my God, I'm going to do this. But you will know that this is exactly what you need to do. So it's all about the power of your own transition by following your own intuition and by only doing those things that make sense to you. You see this? Absolutely fantastic. This is literally your sacred gift. Your sacred gift. Just remember, this is going to bring you a sacred gift, one step at a time. Okay, do not let things put you off. Oh yeah, you know, like, oh God, you know, it's going to take a long time. No, baby, no. Just remember, there's a sacred gift waiting at the end. Okay, so now the next sign that I'm going to be talking about, it's going to be my gorgeous Pisces. Oops. Oh, Pisces, that one fall out. You see this? So it's a lot about what's going to be happening this week. It's a lot about you doing the right things when it comes to your finances, when it comes to your future planning, and when it comes to being really wise, and when it comes to being really smart, and when it comes to like things that are gonna reflect on your life later on and the other people in your life, because you will financially do the right thing to kind of you know, when it comes to your future long time, in a long way, you know, when it comes to your future for a while, this is gonna work really, really perfectly. Just a second. So bye, Selene. 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 Midnight, know the sound from the pavement. Has the moon lost her memory? She's smiling alone in the lamplight. The withered leaves collect at my feet, and the wind begins to moan. Memory, all alone in the moonlight, I can dream of the old days. Life was beautiful then. I remember the time I knew what happiness was. Pisces, I love you. Pisces, 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 My gorgeous Pisces, I love you so much, but just remember how important it is to raise your energy, raise your vibration, and especially at this moment in time when things are just so uncertain, right? When things are so uncertain out there, just remember, for the love of God, please do follow your own light. By following your own light, you're following your own intuition. By following your own intuition, you're not going to be led astray. You're going to be doing the right thing. So just make sure you understand that there is a bit of like a devilish energy out there at the moment, which I mentioned before, and the devilish energy has got many shapes and many forms, and it's very kind of like weird sometimes, because it presents itself in so many different shapes and forms. So you just go by the feelings and emotions, you know, especially when it comes to this week in particular. You know, something is like kind of going to be right in front of you. It is not going to make sense, but this is most certainly going to play an absolutely huge giant role in your life. It is something is going to become so obvious, something, you know, the certain mask is going to fall, and to some of you, you know, this is going to be absolutely huge, massive, enormous confirmation. But to some of you, my gorgeous Piscelini, you're just going to realize you're going to be on the beginning stages of like you coming out of the very much so darkness, and it's almost you will be facing something is going to be right in front of you, but you need to see that you need to turn your back to this, and you will know what this is. I'm not saying, oh yeah, brand new job, blah blah. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that you will know that something is just absolutely not going to be making sense whatsoever, that is going to require from you to place yourself on that path. And I'm saying to place yourself on that path, I'm just saying that there are rather devilish energies going on at the moment, which are kind of like a really come into your own existence by using your own vibration and energy, and then it manipulates you in a way where you just get to the point where you're so kind of uncomfortable purely because you've lost your sense of direction, which affects your sense of achievements and sense of well-being. This just reflects on every single other part of your life. So this is why you have to stay true to yourself. So your first challenge this week, my gorgeous Piscelini, is try to just follow your intuition, please. Okay, try to follow your intuition, because now at this moment in time, if something really doesn't make sense, and I've said this so many times, but I'm telling you this for a reason, because you know you're going to become aware of this mystery, this weirdness, this something very bizarre, so very strange. So by the time you get to the midweek, your eyes are going to be wide open. So why am I telling you this? Because it's going to be important. It's important for you to get this right. And I'm not like, I don't want to give you pressure like, oh God, it's important to get this right, you're going to get things wrong. No, baby, no. All you need to do in this life, in this world, we were 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100, we just like die like so quickly. But all what you need to do on this journey is to do things that make sense to you, please. Just those things that make sense to you. If you're pushed towards something and you know it doesn't make sense, and perhaps a few other people are kind of like around that specific situation, blah, 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 and it still doesn't make sense, rather be that one, the only one who is walking their own path. Because by doing those things that don't make sense, you find yourself on the path that doesn't make sense. And you find yourself on the path being controlled and being manipulated by. And you say, bye bye baby, you know, just stay true to yourself. So the challenging situation this week, you need to stay true to yourself. You will stay true to yourself, my gorgeous Piscelini. Know that a few days after, there is going to be an absolutely mind-blowing reward. And a mind-blowing reward that you're going to have is the very specific part of yourself. It's going to be highlighted. What exactly do you need to pay attention to when it comes to the actual next step and next stage of your life? It's going to lead towards a very important adjustment. The priorities are slightly going to change, but most certainly it's going to lead towards you just staying true to yourself, and also by having a very kind of like important opportunity, you know, that it's going to become absolutely obvious. And you know what, on another hand, this is going to become more clear to you again at around the midweek, towards the end of the week, where you are going to have a very specific moment. You know, you will see something, a certain situation, and it's going to remind you of your childhood. It's going to remind you of like a not necessarily childhood, but it's going to remind you of the time when you used to be very happy, when your life was very colorful, when your life was very fun, when you were doing a lot of things. I'm not saying it's not like that now, but you will see exactly what I mean, because this very specific information and feeling and emotion, it's going to be impossible to ignore. And this is when the big mama steps in, because it's not only about about you paying attention to that particular aspect of your life, but what do you think about when you think about it? What is missing in your life? Because something very important that it's relevant is missing. Something is missing. You should be doing something, you know, that you're not doing and you used to do back then, but you know, because a lot was going on and that just kind of fallen apart along the way. But now your karma is requiring to bring this in. This is going to bring you an excitement. It's going to bring you balance. It's going to bring you luxury. It's going to bring you strength. It's going to bring you control over a situation. So how are you going to know what this luxury, like financial luxury? And so how are you going to know what this is? Well, basically from the midweek towards the end of the week, just pay attention to the actual opportunity. Pay attention to the opportunity, but this opportunity is somehow going to be very much so connected to your past and to those feelings and vibrations that I've said, and the reflection that you're going to get through this. This is very important. And also, somebody who is like really close to you already mentioned this, or it's about to mention this week, or through what they say, you will know how important it is to actually just pay attention to this. This requires from you standing your own path. It requires from you grounding yourself, putting your points across, but not arguing, not fighting with people, because there are going to be loads of them who will have opposed opinions with things that you think about. So there is absolutely no point. But it's all about putting your taking the management back of your life. These are the words. Taking the management back of your life. Someone is going to play a specific role. Maybe they will just point out, oh, you should do this. Oh, why are you not doing that? Oh, what, did you forget about this? Something is going to be pinpointed to you towards from the people in your life that are so close to you. Or they will say something, like they will talk, and through their conversation, oh my God, through the power of synchronicity, you're just going to become aware of. However, it's going to open your eyes and remind you that timing is critical right now, and the timing is really important as well. You need to also be aware of the fact that patience. So do not let anything to put you off. So there is going to be, you see, at the moment where you're going to kind of like realize, you know, the certain specific part of your life comes to an end here, and it's all about your own acceptance, and it's also acceptance of those things that certain entities out there are not maybe what they claim that they are. It's all about a weird acceptance, strange acceptance, bizarre acceptance that you are going to have out of this world. Nothing even to do with you and your life, but with your understanding of what is going on around you and your life, which is going to bring you very close to this point. So you have to come through to yourself. You have to be honest. You have to accept what you know. You have to accept what you understand. You have to give a credit to yourself, because that in itself is also going to start a process of an absolutely mind-blowing enlightenment in your life. That very moment in your life, something is going to start, something is going to begin. You're going to plant a spiritual seed, the beginning. By the same time, you become the sacred lotus that grew through a dark and thick mud, through the darkest water, and now it's coming above the water. So all you need to do, stay true to yourself, trust your intuition, and that is most certainly not going to lead you astray. So I need you to understand and remember that there is a very important reward that you will have. Do you know, the last couple of days this week, it's about the opportunity and the reward to you, about the opportunity that you are going to have when it comes to your life, when it comes to you giving credit to yourself and understanding, because at that moment in time you will understand it's not going to be easy, you know. It's the patience that I got out before. Yeah, it's not going to be easy, temperance. You see, it's not going to be easy. But do not choose the easiest path because you'll be like kind of pushed towards it. You need to choose the path that you feel naturally drifted towards. The path that it's going to be longer, weirder, stranger. You don't know how you're going to do things. You don't know how you're going to go about certain things, but you know it's right. You will feel the light and the candle behind the longest one, but the one that requires from you to step out of the norm, the one that requires from you to come out and step out of yourself completely and follow your intuition no matter what. Because if you go with that path, it's too dark. You can't even see anything. okay? You don't even know where you are. You don't even know what is going to happen. So this is the one you go, where you subconsciously feel the light at the end of the tunnel. So this is why this is so important, my gorgeous Pisces indeed. So it's about the actual opportunity, but it's all about your own understanding and reaching that balance, which is going to open your eyes, and it's going to bring you the sacred, wise energy. So it's the opportunity when it comes to your future planning at the end of the week. This is the big moment. It's about the opportunity that you were aware of before, but now the credit that you will have, the reward that you're going to have because you were giving credit to yourself when it comes to like being against the current sometimes. This is going to be your karmic reward. This is going to be a spiritual reward, and this is the way this world should be. We should be doing things that make sense to us. We should follow our own path by doing things that make sense to us, by trying to ignore the devilish energy and the devil who is trying to place things in your head. And the way they do this, it's like it's all about the motivation. It's taken away, and it's just like the sense of direction without any motivation whatsoever, and then later you just lose your energy. So you gather your energy back. So from this week onwards, only do things that make sense to you. I said some of you are going to be completely surprised with the mystery revealed, and some of you are going to be complete confirmation. But, you know, do not forget that by the end of this week, you know, your reward is an opportunity, but also just out of the blue, you're going to realize so many different aspects, and they're going to become amazing, remarkable. They're going to become delicious and almost impossible to ignore. Okay, my gorgeous people, thank you ever so much for watching my videos. I love every single one of you, my gorgeous people. And once again, I wish you Merry Christmas, Happy Christmas to every single one. Merry Christmas, my gorgeous people. And also, I wish you the happiest year, 2022. And just remember, we can like make things so much better with our own energy, but at the same time, stay on top of things by being optimistic and by following only those things in life that make sense to you. Remember the power and the importance of staying on your own path. Okay, my gorgeous people, Happy New Year 2022 and Merry Christmas. I love you all so much. I'm sending you brightest blessings, lots of love, healing, peace and light. So I'm sending you brightest blessings, lots of love, healing, peace and light to every single one of you, my gorgeous people. Thank you ever so much for watching my videos. Sasha Bonasin, Psychic Medium. Love you. Bye. Love you.